Okay, I kind of just want to get right into this one. This is a play we run men's. I've actually ran it for years. We used to call a variation of it line 3 back in the day. Now we call it double cross or DC most of the time. Sometimes we forget that second cross at the end. We'll go through that at the end though. But it's just another set piece play. It can be ran out of scrums, lineouts, or rucks for the back line. So here we go. So basically in this formation, we're going to just kind of, if you look at our traditional backline set, we're going to tighten up a tiny bit. Just find that there's a long way for the 13 to go. I'll just kind of take you through the basic back lines. The pass is obviously going to go from the 9 to the 10. So we're going to have a pass here. And their basic running lines, the 10 is going to come up and out. The 12 is going to come up and out with the 10. And then we have our 13 is going to be running kind of a switch line with the 10 there. And that's your basic lines. We also have why it's called double cross is as that 12 continues on here, we actually have the second cross here with the 11 where we get that, and that's why it's called double cross, because really we have a cross here and here. You could say triple cross, I guess, if you really wanted to get technical with that one, but it's really not a cross there. Just to get the idea of the kind of basic running lines for this play. But how it basically works is this. The ball starts here at the 9, moves to the 10 as they attack that kind of defensive line. From here, you can see that 13 starting to run that kind of cross line or that switch line with the 10. And you can see that here. And that's really our first option. If the 10 and 12 drift out, maybe there's some congestion here. The 13 doesn't know whether to come behind here or what to do. Well, our first option is to give the ball here to the 13 and kind of expose this gap that we've created here. Okay, so that's option number 1. From this, going back through that again, 1, 2, as the 10 attacks the line. If for some reason that 10 just comes over to here to take that 13, well, we can have the 10 actually keep there. So our kind of second option on this play is really if the 10 bites, the 12 stays with the 12. Well, the 13 is confused here where to go. 10 takes the switch, and we would see something that looks like this, where the 10 is going to bust through that gap there. Confusion here, 2 people taking the 12, and then our 10 should be able to exploit that hole through there. Fairly straightforward. Okay, third option is going to be kind of the outside option, and what you're going to see with this, starting from the start again, 9 moves the ball to 10, and then we get the ball, we attack the line with the 10, and then moving out wide here, we get that ball moved out to the 12. If that 13 kind of comes in to try and figure out what to do about his 13 taking that kind of switch line here, if this 13 comes in, can maybe run into the 12, maybe the 12 decides to take the 10, no one's taking the 12 at that point, and then the 10 can quickly move that ball out here to the 12. The reason we call this play double cross though is because generally if we get that outside option there and that 12 is running this kind of hard drift line here, eventually that 13 is going to be tracking over, and then we're going to get that 11 as that 12 attacks here to run that second crossing line and kind of run that switch pass, and so then we can dump the ball off here from that 12 to the 11 on that switch pass, and that's why it's called double cross. So a lot of options there in this play, but it does create some confusion again, similar to the ghost blocker play I went through before, in the fact that we have that 13 coming all the way in here inside the 10. That's more than a simple switch communication, and so that can create a lot of confusion. So we have our options again, just to review. 10 attacks the line. Okay, first option is give the ball inside to the 13. Second option would be taking the ball as a keeper themselves, depending if that 10 doesn't take them, and busting through that gap in the middle. And the third option would be giving the wide ball to the 12, and then that 12 is going to run that kind of double cross line there. So once again, like most of these plays, this really comes down to the decision being made by the 10 based on what they're reading with the defenders. here. A lot of the times what they're going to read is that 10-12 combo in this one and where they're at, but also the 13. So this is a little, sorry about that, kind of got cut off there a little bit. As I was saying, this is just a little bit more of a tricky read for the 10. In this case, we need to read all three of these defenders, the 13, the 12, and the 10. Really key for the 10 to read the other 10, but also to see where the gaps are in general and just make the right pass. But that's it. That's kind of our basic DC or double cross play